What's up guys, cejaman here, and I figured I'd do a little video. Well, it's a video about why I started collecting and why I collect action figures. I'm gonna get into the whole, I gotta sneeze guys. I gotta get into the whole, not detail, I guess I'll get into the whole history of me collecting, why I collected, and what exactly I collected as a kid. So if you guys, it's gonna be maybe a little bit of a long video, not too sure. Pause the video. Go grab a beer if you guys are old enough. Go grab a soda, grab a water, whatever you need to grab. Pause the video, go grab it, and come back. Grab some food, whatever. Let's begin. Alright, so first off, I was always a comic book fan as a kid. Same with superheroes, all that stuff. I was always a fan. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Star Wars. I would say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Star Wars were like the first thing I ever really liked as a kid. Star Wars, if I had to say all-time favorite movies, just in overall, like what I like a lot is Star Wars. That was my favorite thing as a kid and still is to this day. I don't really care for the last 3 movies that came out, but the original 3 were my favorite. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was like one of the biggest things for me as a kid. And you know, my name is Raphael, so he was my favorite turtle as well, and I just, you know, I loved that so much. And so when I was a kid, I mean, those were the things I really liked, you know, like I've had a lot of turtle toys. People text me too much. I had a lot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys growing up. Same with Star Wars. I had a lot of the vintage Star Wars growing up, and I used to play with them. And as I got like a little bit older, and when I mean older, I'm talking about like 5 or 6, because I was born in '84. So I think like Batman had just came out, the '89 Batman Returns, and all that. I started buying, you know, the Kenner toys, the Batman Kenner toys, or Toy Biz, Batman toy. That was back when Toy Biz used to make Batman. So I grew up playing with those, not necessarily collecting. I grew up with those action figures, the Toy Biz X-Men, if you guys remember those ones. And then I got into Kenner figures like the Predators, the Alien vs. Predators, the Aliens, Terminator, and I was always a movie fan as a kid, sci-fi, horror especially, and superhero movies, which weren't many back then. But when I started collecting, because like I said, I always had toys. I always played with toys, from Turtles, X-Men. Remember when they had the animated series versions of X-Men, that the toys, had like 5 points of articulation. Toy Biz made them. I collected those. I had a lot of those. And Batman Kenner, I used to collect. I used to love the animated series. They did the Legends of the Batman. I think it was Legends of the Batman or Shadow of the Batman. I think it was Legends. And plus various other stuff from the movies that they came out with. But it wasn't till, do you guys remember Power of the Force from the Star Wars? You would find them everywhere. They were hard to get at the time. Everybody thought they were going to be worth so much money, and they're not worth anything. You can find them like at, I don't know, like comic shops or Frankensons for like $5 a figure. And I don't know why. I thought the same thing, they were going to be worth so much. And I was like 6 or 7 when I started collecting those, and I wouldn't open them. I had stacks of them. Like they had variants with like green cards, or a lightsaber was longer than the other, if you guys remember, if you guys know what I've been talking about. So that's how I started collecting. I already had collected comic books, comic cards prior to collecting action figures. I always played with action figures, but I never really collected them. So Power of the Force was what really got me into collecting, keeping figures in cards. And when you're a kid, that's really hard to do because you want to play with your action figures. And I'm not gonna lie, when I started, like, I would look at them in the cards and I'd be like, oh man, I really want to open this bad boy up. So I'd get tempted and I'd open them up and start playing with them, and then I'd feel guilty. I was like, I opened this and it's a collector's item, it's gonna be worth so much, but they weren't. And so that's how it began. So I started buying so many toys and collecting them as a kid. Even when I was a kid, I'd still go back and buy the older figures, like that I wanted, like the vintage, you know, the Ghostbusters. I had some He-Man figures. I don't collect those anymore. Same with G.I. Joes. Had some Power Rangers, Superhuman Samurai, if you guys remember that. Those were all figures that I either bought 1 or 2 of them because I wanted to keep one of them in card. But man, yeah, I collected as a kid. I just loved action figures, and there's something about them that just makes you feel, I don't know, they just make you feel so happy, you know what I mean? And when I was a kid, also another big thing that was around was slime. They always had some kind of a slime figure, especially in like I think Ghostbusters had a lot of the slime figures. I think some of the Turtles had some slimy, like gooey figures too. But so that's like the history of me, you know, collecting. And I did that until I think I was 13. And then I got into, I feel like I'm losing my voice. Then I got into skateboarding, and I started getting into gaming, and I kind of stopped collecting action figures, but I did collect comics still. I think I stopped collecting comics when I was like 15, and I just stopped collecting altogether, but I still had everything from before, like all my vintage stuff, all the stuff I kept in cards. So fast forward like years later, I kept all that stuff in my uncle's house in the shed that he had. And I guess one day he decided to clean house, and he threw the majority of my stuff away. Comic cards, a lot of the comics that were there, majority of my mint on card figures and vintage figures. So I lost all of them. As a kid, I never even threw any of my figures away. So you can imagine from like 4 or 5 all the way till I was like, till I stopped collecting like 15 or so. I still had all that stuff in my 20s, but it got thrown away. So I stopped, but at the time I was upset, but I didn't really care because I was like, I don't collect these anymore anyways, or I don't read comics and nothing. So then, and mind you, I never even been to Frank & Sons, and Frank & Sons has been around since I was a kid. And I knew fellow collectors in school, like there was other fellow collectors when I was collecting. I was kind of more of a nerd. Because I collected comics, I wore comic book t-shirts, so I kind of got picked on a little bit because of that. But and then now it's cool to wear it, you know what I mean? It's weird. But anyways, yeah, there was always comic Frank & Sons, and I never went. I had never gone, never knew what it was. So then finally, fast forward to my mid-20s, or maybe 24. Maybe it was 23, 24. My aunt and her ex-boyfriend at the time invited me to go to Frank & Sons, and I was like, yeah, let's go. I'd never been. So I walk in there, and I was like, oh man, this takes me back to my childhood, because you see all these different vendors, toys I had when I was a kid, and I was just like, wow, this is bringing so much memories. And I was like, you see comic books and all that there, and I was like, I wish I can get back in this. Anyways, I'm walking around, looking around, and I never knew what Marvel Legends were, because I stopped collecting, I think, the time when they were coming out with Marvel Legends. And I think the Toy Biz line already stopped, and Hasbro was coming out with them, I believe. But I walked into one of the booths, and one of the sellers he had a Gambit Marvel Legends figure, and I saw it, and I was like, oh my god, I was like, I never had a figure that looked like this when I was a kid. It's like so detailed. It comes with a comic book. It's like it looks like you can move them around in different, you know, now it's like articulation is crazy, because before it was just 5 points of articulation. You know, forward, you know, the legs go forward and back, and the head can rotate, and that was it. It came with the cards, the staff. So I opened them up, and I was like, man, this is so badass, you know, when I got home. And so I looked at the back of the card, and I saw the other figures, and I was starting to go into comic shops and Frank & Sons more often. I'd buy little figures here and there, but it was more so like vintage stuff that I used to have when I was a kid, because I was trying to rebuy all that stuff, and that's when the bug hit me. So I really got into it again, and I got heavy into Marvel Legends, because Marvel, I love a lot of Marvel characters. Batman, as far as DC goes, Batman is my favorite superhero, hands down, of everything, Batman. But I love Marvel a lot, so I love more of their titles and heroes, but Batman is my overall superhero. I just love him a lot. Anyway, so I ended up going back. I bought, I started getting like obsessed, I guess you can say. I couldn't stop. I bought I think I had almost every single Marvel Legends, minus like the super rare ones, but I had almost all of them, all the Build-A figures. Like I bought X-Men Classics, Hulk Classics, Spider-Man Classics. If you guys watch my old videos, there was a video where I'm showing you guys where I keep my figures, and I had bins. They're like, you know, those big ones you get like a Walmart, Target. They're just stuffed in there. Like I put them in baggies and stuff with all the accessories, stacked them in there. I had drawers full of figures, accessories. So it got really, really crazy. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm becoming like a hoarder. You know what I mean? So I sold a lot of the stuff off a few years ago, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And I just started keeping some of the stuff that I really wanted, which is Batman and some Marvel figures, and some of the rare ones. And then I got into Hot Toys. Now, Hot Toys, I got that bug too, where I started becoming a completist and bought too many of them, like Iron Mans. I bought too many Iron Mans and some Predators. So then I was like, you know what? I don't need all this stuff. So I sold some of those off too. And I have some Hot Toys that, you know, I really love, which is a lot of it's Batman, a few Captain Americas, a couple Iron Mans, Robocops, and Hellboy, Superman, Hulk, Terminator, just stuff that I really like and that I loved as a kid. So that's what I have as far as Hot Toys goes, because those are really expensive figures. NECA is a line I continue to buy because I love NECA. Anything Batman I'm pretty much gonna buy. I own a couple statues, smaller statues, big statues. I have some Street Fighter figures still. Some Zelda stuff, Link stuff, and just stuff that I know I'm gonna love and I know that I'm gonna keep and pass on to my kids, you know what I mean? Because this is stuff that I just love. Like Star Wars, I still have some Star Wars figures, some of the vintage stuff, some of the Power of the Force stuff. I still have vintage Batman figures, X-Men figures. So there is some stuff that I did keep and some stuff that I sold off recently because I started getting like too obsessed with it. And if you collectors out there probably know what I'm talking about. Because when you have so many figures and they're just stuffed in bins and boxes and you have nowhere to display them, it's kind of a waste, you know what I mean? Like for me at least, because I had nowhere to put all my stuff. So, and I could never display them how I wanted to, and I still can't right now. I don't have the room to display everything I want to, but eventually I will have everything displayed out. But now I'm just being really careful on the stuff that I pick. I just make sure I'll pick up all the stuff that I know I'm gonna keep, and I know I'm gonna want, and I know I'm not gonna sell off. One thing I regret selling when I was selling a lot of my stuff, I sold a lot of my horror figures, and I should not have done that because I regret it. And if you guys follow me on my channel, I sold a lot of some Batman figures and I regret that like crazy. But if you guys saw some videos not too long ago, I was doing the hunt for Batman figures and I pretty much got all the ones I wanted. Again, haven't kept you guys updated with that. But yeah, so that's kind of the history of me collecting and why I'm collecting. I'm collecting because I love to collect. I love action figures. I love superheroes. It's fun. I can share them with my son. My son loves them. He appreciates them for the most part, you know what I mean? I mean, he's really into Power Rangers, and you know, he has a lot of Sonic toys and stuff. He has a lot of toys, and the cool thing about it is when you're a toy collector like me and you know a thing or two about toys, you know what's good and what's not good for kids. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what to get them. You know what are good toys, you know what are cheap toys and all that stuff. And I love going toy hunting. I love vlogging. I love doing these reviews. It's a lot of fun. It's a hobby. It's a lot of fun. I love doing it. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video just to talk to you guys about, you know, my collecting, why I collect. Again, it just makes me feel like a kid again. It's a lot of fun. So I enjoy doing it, guys, and it brings me back to my childhood, and I can relive that again through my son too, because he loves doing it. I take him toy hunting with me. So that's it, guys. Yeah, make these videos, guys. That was my son, by the way. So leave a comment down below, guys. Let me know why you guys collect. Let me know what you guys collect. Also, let me know, did you guys ever think it was a problem where you were just collecting too much and you had to cut back? Because I'm telling you, that's what I had to do twice, and that was like within like the past like 6 years. But yeah, let me know, guys. Drop a comment down below, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, guys. If you guys want to see more vlogs kind of like this where I'm just talking about something, throw a topic, guys. Let me know. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I was kind of rambling on all over the place. I wanted to just get this video out there because I have had people ask me, you know, a few times why I collect and whatnot. But yeah, so that's it. Subscribe, guys. Hit the like button. Remember, answer the questions that I answered below or asked you just now. Answer it below. Let me know. I really want to know what you guys, you know, think about this. What you guys do and what you guys collect. And again, leave a comment down below, guys. We'll see you later. Peace. Subscribe. Later.